What time is it?
It's Tuesday night, 10 p.m., and this is the C3 Podcast.
I guess you've heard of my reputation. I've had my share of fooling around. But everybody needs stimulation.
I had fun, man. Just out, you guys joking. We working at the same time. Putting the work in as a team. Like I said, man, I'm just glad to be with the guys.
My favorite night of the week.
Good Lord, it's a good day to be a Panthers fan. And we the best. You heard them. You heard them say it. We are the best, Joe. And we put it on them right in their mouth. Yo, what's up, Panther fans? It's your boy, the Professor, a.k.a. Podcast brought to you by Carolina Cat Chronicles.com, where every Tuesday night we chop up the latest Panther news and opinion from the fan perspective. I always get it twisted, but that's what I do here on Tuesday nights when I hang out with my best friends. I got two of my best friends, literally. Joey Riolano, can't really you're in the top rank of Tony Dunn friends, and it's good to be hanging out with you.
Yeah, man, I'm glad to be on the show. It's Tuesday night. We love getting together to do this Panther thing every week. Even in the off season, we're hard at it. It's been interesting the last couple of weeks for the Panthers. I can't wait to see who they're bringing in to replace these coaching positions they have available. So we've got some stuff that I think people are going to enjoy coming up real soon around draft time. And
we also have the we're in mourning too. But you know what? Before we get into the mourning part and getting all sad and cry like I will for the next probably 50 minutes, let's celebrate this and toast that our great friend Mel Mayock is coming back home, baby.
Yes,
was I not supposed to say it? Could I say
you let the cat out of the bag. We'll talk more about that later on for sure, but that's all right.
So excited about this. Not only do I hang out with you guys on Tuesday nights, but literally we're geographically getting closer in the upcoming weeks and months.
Yes.
So that's fantastic. Tonight's show, guys, is hashtag not my Super Bowl. This is episode 15.52. It's the
let me say, man, YouTube is blowing up. The Professor in the tie tonight, bringing a little class to the joint. Yes,
we
sir.
are late. We started 5 minutes late because I literally pulled into my driveway at 9:44. And my computer was shut down. I walked straight in. My wife said they get to see the real Professor, and I hate this shirt right now, but I've been working all day, and I'm not going to tighten it up. All right, so this week's show is called hashtag Not My Super Bowl. You can take that wherever you want, but we're not going to do any political talk. Joey, you still can't hear me?
There goes my ice up. There goes my ice up, man.
All right. All right, so we're not going to we're going to try to avoid the political talk, but just know this, is I wore black tie today on purpose. Because I'm in mourning, fellas, and I'm mourning this thing called a Super Bowl where we have to.
Brutal.
I'm protesting it, but in the final episode of this season, we've done 52 shows this year. The last one started on a terrible note. I mean, the very first one, right? If you think about it, the very first show of this season started with the Carolina Panthers. Coming back after a loss in the Super Bowl to the Denver Broncos.
Right, it was a Tuesday after the Super Bowl loss.
Whew.
And now the show for this season ends going into the Super Bowl where the Atlanta Falcons are playing the New England
Deflatriots.
Yeah, Deflatriots. I can't. I haven't worn a red shirt to work this season. Like, I am protesting the color red. That's how bad this is. It's terrible, man. Like, I literally have been down to no shirts in the closet, and then I'm going, man, I can't wear the red shirt today, and I look good in red.
Is that what your wife said?
That's how I'm sad. That's how sad I am. All right.
That is bad.
We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be in mourning tonight. You can join us. Put your black armbands on, whatever you do. Pour one out for your homies known as the Carolina Panthers of 2016. That dead carcass is finally over, and we get to put this season to bed finally. But everybody know that we all, when we end this show and we end this season, we all go to sleep perpetually in fear that Falcons could win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they have a good chance, I would say. They're a talented team.
That's the most haunting feeling I've ever had in my life.
It is.
It's like doom around the corner. I feel like a Puritan expecting the world to collapse at any moment. That's how I feel.
You know, this Super Bowl to me is just like the Russian national team taking on the Iranian national team. I mean, it's just pick your poison. It's the
exactly.
You know, we did a poll 2 years ago that said, you know, it was hate week, which we need to bring back this year. But we did a poll. Who does Panther Nation hate the most? The top two in no particular order was the New England Patriots and the Atlanta Falcons. So this is the worst case scenario for Panther Nation.
All right. So like I said, the show title sucks. Not our Super Bowl. You can tweet the show using the hashtag C3. Follow us at @Cat_Chronicles. There's a lot of chat going on in YouTube. Once again, pointing out that the audio in this show sucks every week. One day, you know what? We're closing a terrible show with terrible production, terrible season, terrible production. But if you do enjoy getting together with us on Tuesday nights, we encourage you to listen to the show, share it with a friend. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that little thumbs up button and hit the share button. Share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook, somewhere. Send it to a friend. We really appreciate it, helping us grow even in this time of really dismal terribleness surrounding the concept of football. Can help. And likewise, Joey, we have to maintain the website, which sucks because it costs money. Maintaining the website and the podcast actually has cost us out of pocket a lot. So if you're interested in continuing this 3 straight years without missing a show, if you like what you hear, consider just giving $1. One single dollar one time could help us pay for this website for a month. And that's it. All right. Right now, I guess we have to talk about this thing called the Super Bowl. It's what is it, 51?
Yep, that's right.
Yep.
Super Bowl 51 goes down as the second worst Super Bowl in the history of mankind, being the one last year where the Panthers lost.
Yeah.
This is awful. Where do you feel as a Panther fan right now going into Sunday? Where have you been at this week? Have you been in your feelings? That's what one of my friends likes saying. I'm just in my feelings right now.
No, I have not. I have not really watched anything about either team. I've not watched anything related to football other than some draft stuff. Frankly, I could care less about the game. I do not want the Falcons to win. My question to you guys is this. Would you not want Atlanta to win less if we would have won last year?
Nope.
Maybe
a smidgen. Maybe. Right. Yes. Like, honestly, if you really want me to be just completely unguarded, I would say yes. I would. You know what? I would be less terrorized by the idea.
Me too.
That's a good way. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Right.
Like right now, I wake up with the cold sweats, thinking Falcons might get it before us. You know.
It's
right, and that's the whole thing.
I've never felt this way before about any game, to where an outcome of it, unrelated to my team, could cause me horror and devastation.
That's the whole thing. We don't want to be the only team in the division without a Super Bowl right now. We will be the last team to get one if Atlanta wins this, and that's a place I don't want to be.
Right. There'll be no way to ever change that. So,
look at this on YouTube. Peekaboo Jones 64 says, "I turned on ESPN today. Saw that commercial where Ryan threw for 500 against us. shook my head, and turned off the TV.
Yeah.
Mario says, good question, Joey. A lot of why this sucks is so bad is because we just fell short and have fallen from grace so far. Another thing, and Mario's on to something very important here, is it's not just about the Falcons winning. It is in the epic. It's almost like a Greek tragedy where we were on top of a mountain,
right,
laughing. We were insulting Falcon fans last year.
Did we fly too close to the sun?
Enjoyable. It was enjoyable to say, like, talk just smack at any moment to a Scott Karasik or anybody. And be like, and then now the tables have been turned so dramatically.
Right.
So not only did they ascend at such rapid pace, we also descended.
Yeah,
so it's almost like like somebody cut the cord to the elevator and they were in the other shaft beside us just going up and we were free falling.
Yeah.
Panthers fan says I'm still insulting Falcon fans.
There you go. Keep pounding, keep insulting.
That's what, keep pounding. That's right. Hashtag insulting. All right. I think the Peekaboo brought up something about the commercials. The commercials hurt. I want to know did Falcon fans feel like this? Were they playing commercials of the Panthers last year in their market?
They don't have feelings.
And there probably were, but it wasn't against the Panthers.
Well, you remember 1 year ago today. Do you remember the big story 1 year ago today? It was Cam Newton. It was Cam Newton's $859 pants that he wore getting off the plane. 1 year ago today.
That's it.
Yeah.
Does it feel like there was
discount? He was Dave Gettleman bought those pants for him.
Does it feel like there was a lot more hype going into last year's Super Bowl versus this one, or is it just our team was in it?
It's just because, well, it's two things. I bet you the hype is a little bit bigger than we know.
Yeah.
Because to the average fan, just simply because, but like we have shunned the Super Bowl so much.
Yes.
I have checked out of football. I haven't written a story for the website.
Guys, think about this.
Like
how much has football changed for Panther Nation, starting with the no catch for Cotchery in the game last year? From that point on, everything has sucked. Everything. Mm-hmm. Before that, everything was utopic. That was the nexus. And that was a catch, man. That was a catch. Right. Ice up. Guess
it did kind of.
Isn't there a commercial where they're like, "This is a game of inches. This is a game," or something like that. That's all it is. Like our whole disaster of a life for the last year has been off of basically 3 inches one way or another.
Right.
And I will say, and I'll go ahead and I'll just say that one, and then the Gano field goal. I still stick to it.
In
we
week 1,
go out there and beat Denver in week 1. Yeah. We weather these injuries with not so many losses. I'm not saying that we would have been 12 in
the Super Bowl, but we could have been in the playoffs for sure.
Yeah.
Well, or at least not look like a dumpster fire.
Right. Yeah, we did look really bad.
It was demoralizing.
There were some games where it was just like, why am I watching this? I can't believe this is the same team from last year. Yeah. But hopefully we will get better. Hopefully we'll see improve. This.
It's going to get better.
Right, but this free agent period and this draft is huge for us as an organization.
It really is. And I have a very deep question that I think that I've been I want to write I'm not going to write something quick if I do write this. If I do write a story on this, it's going to be one of those that I spend a lot of time on. To me, this is an important question, so I hope you think it's as cool as I do, or an important thesis. Ron Rivera comes out and says the Carolina Panthers, they need to evolve as a team, right? He used this term, evolve. Cam Newton, how we use Cam, what the team's identity, like the offense, all of these things. He said evolve, and they need an evolution. Dave Gettleman kind of tried to temper these comments a little bit, but what I'm starting to wonder is if we look across the landscape of football, GMs, coaches, or even like politicians, teachers, whatever, can we truly evolve? Have you ever seen that many instances of true evolution? So what I mean by this is, what made me think about this was the Atlanta Falcons have had such immense success this season, and it has been off of this very offensive driven team that has injected in energy into the defense, right?
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan is a mastermind. He's going to be hired. He can do whatever he wants. This just wonderful thing. That is completely against the mantra of both our GM and our head coach. Is there a possible world where I don't think these guys can evolve? I think what they're going to essentially do is, and I hope this isn't just an attack, I just think this is reality, that Dave Gettleman.
I think Joe's house is imploding.
Yeah, Joe's mad at this. Joe's mad at this. I'm taking a long time to set it up. But what I'm saying is this, is Dave Gettleman got to the Super Bowl, won a Super Bowl when he was with the Giants. He was with an experience. He was in an experience that worked. So to him, he comes here and he says, this is the blueprint that works. And if it doesn't work, we just didn't do it well enough. Ron Rivera similarly has been with success on the Chicago Bears. So he's had this moment of success. I think they can't evolve. And my argument is that I don't think any coach or GM really does evolve. Go.
You don't think any coach or GM evolves?
Evolves, like of significance. Now, they might adapt a little, change. But I think if the Carolina Panthers win a Super Bowl under Dave Gettleman and Ron Rivera, we're going to have the most ferocious defensive line. Cam Newton is going to be able to run. We'll have a running attack. I don't think we'll win ever the way the Falcons have won this year.
Well, what's different about the Falcons this year and last year compared to the Panthers this year and last year? What's the difference?
Offensive line play.
Yeah,
and it's which is tied to the health of their players. The Falcons had
another thing too.
But the Falcons
they have explosivity.
But they had zero. They had 0 people injured going into the NFC Championship game. 0.
Right.
So that's what made Kyle Shanahan look like a genius. When he was in New York with the Jets and had the butt fumble king as the quarterback, people laughed him out of New York. But now that he's got a healthy Julio Jones, that's given him a ticket to a head coaching job in San Francisco. And I'm telling you right now,
your deal.
Right now, I'm telling you, with Michael Orr injured and all the other concussions that we had, it makes Shula look worse than he is. Next year, everybody's healthy. We're flying high again. Shula's going to be up for a head coaching job. That's just the way of the NFL.
Oh, I guess I agree. I think that you bring, that's the level-headed perspective. I think where I'm at is this. I see this in politics. I see this in the way I teach in my profession. Sometimes when we don't get the results we want, we just essentially try the same thing harder.
Definition of insanity.
Rather than you're like this, well, we just didn't throw enough resources at it. I just, it's just
right.
instead of, and so I wonder, I don't think that Dave Gettleman can have a different philosophy.
Now, that's a great question.
That's a terrible bad thing.
But
Bad thing.
That's a great question because Dave Gettleman's mentality is the biggest guy in the schoolyard is who he's picking to be on his team, right?
Exactly.
Is he going to take a Christian McCaffrey in, say, round 2 if he's there? A guy who is not the biggest dude in the world, but is absolute lightning in a bottle. But that would be an evolution. I'm not sure that he would.
I agree. I like that pick.
Yeah.
I think he would be awesome. I think the Panthers offense.
They need a playmaker.
No, he's not the guy for us.
Why, Joe? You've been saying that for a while.
Yes.
We need somebody that's going to be a pounder. That's the style of offense we play. We need somebody who in the fourth quarter is still thumping guys, and that defense is like, man, I don't want to tackle this guy anymore. That's what we need. McCaffrey doesn't bring that. That's why Stewart was so good.
He brings 6 yards of carry. He brings a home run threat on every touch, and that's what you're talking about. Do you stick with what you've been trying to do forever, and keep getting the same type of results, or do you mix it up a little bit and evolve?
Well, I think if we could have had a healthy Jonathan Stewart for his whole career, we would definitely be, we wouldn't be having this conversation. He had an injury-marred career. Mm-hmm. So, he missed 6 games, 8 games, 4 games, different points. So we didn't really get to see him over the course of a whole season, except one time. And that was a year, I think, Double Trouble, where they both got 1,100 yards.
And Double Trouble is not too much unlike McCaffrey.
You got to see him healthy the last 2 years.
Boy,
now,
I hope he was
healthier.
I hope he wasn't healthy.
That's really the help. That's like if you get that out of him, you are pumped. Like
and now he turns 30.
Right. So you keep him one more year. If you can sign him to a more friendly contract to the team.
Yeah, I think you keep him definitely. He's
I think you
not
keep
a liability out there.
I think you keep him, but you've got to have somebody else as
to run.
Not Cap. You need either a Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Or
what's the running back from Texas? I can't think of his name. He's a big dude too. He's a pounder.
Go ahead and get Leonard Fournette out of your head. It's not going to happen. Do you know why?
Why?
I got inside.
Who's going to take him?
Why?
I don't care who takes him. I tell you this is because all the draft experts, like 87% of them, I made that number up, are forecasting Fournette to the Panthers. Dave Gettleman will not do anything that you expect. Very simple. Mm-hmm. Whatever you expect, just go ahead and don't even flip it. Go a different direction.
Mm-hmm.
Telling you, think about. I mean, now I could be very well could be wrong.
He's never had this high of a pick.
Right. Exactly.
His
Let me ask you this question.
GM, he should have gotten a good pick. When he got 13, maybe
14.
But he's never had a top 10 pick.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: if the safety from LSU, Adams and Fournette are on the board, which way do we go?
Me, if I'm the GM, I'm going Adams.
Isn't he a free safety?
No, he plays down more in the box.
No, I'm thinking of what is the guy from Ohio State?
Hooker.
I think he's the one that doesn't fit as well for us.
Yeah, I think Adams would be amazing. Him or Fournette.
I watched the Adams tape, man, and why does he always slip? Like, go watch his highlight reel. He'll catch an interception, make this giant, awesome play, and then take 2 steps and slip every time.
Well,
he slipped like 7 times in that video.
Cleats. Probably his cleats. He needs longer spikes.
Damn. Yeah, they need to give him somebody. Their equipment manager needs to be iced up.
But Fournette would be a great pick.
Yeah, I like him. I like his style more than McCaffrey's. I mean, don't get me wrong, McCaffrey is fun to watch. I just don't know that he fits what we're trying to do.
But that
Maybe-
goes to the argument about, do you change what you're doing a little bit?
Right,
They
right. You're
They're
right.
not going to. They can't. You can't. It's impossible. People don't do it.
I mean, I see
People
what
don't
you're
change.
He
They
could
don't.
be- He could be
Tell
like,
me.
what's his name?
Look at the
Fozzie.
Cowboys. But look at the Cowboys. They got Ezekiel Elliott,
Right.
and they became what they always wanted to be, but never knew how.
It was a running team.
Mel, we got a question for you. Kevin Ketchy, which I agree with him 100%, where he says we need speed. We've gotten slow as a team.
And McCaffrey is speed. He
He
is a
is.
big,
Yes,
small.
he's got a question for you, brother.
Okay.
His question is this, or it's not a question, it's more like a demand.
Okay.
Give me
I'm
your
used to-
3 picks. It's
I'm
all about how
married.
it's the inflection of how we read things. I can read this as in like how we meant it, which is give me your 3 picks you feel 100% confident about in the Panthers drafting. Or I could be like, give me your 3 picks you feel 100%.
Is he talking about? Is he talking about
he
in
wants-
round one?
He
All
wants
in
3 guys. Oh, that's a good question. Just say 3 guys that fit the Panthers perfect.
Well,
Who cares what round?
Fournette is a
Okay.
better version of Jonathan Stewart. He is taller, he is more passionate, and he
Faster too.
is much faster. He was a high school track star that ran a 10.08 in the 100 meters, which is just
That's fast.
flat out flying.
Yeah.
So, but he's exactly what Jonathan Stewart should be. He's an elite version of Jonathan Stewart. So Fournette, great pick. He's a 3-down back too. He's great in pass protection, what the Panthers put a premium on.
Is his size? I feel like he looks bigger than Jonathan. Is he taller than?
He's taller.
He is taller.
Stewart is 5'10", and Fournette's 6'1". So he's a bigger dude. But the only limitation on Fournette is he doesn't have the cut back, say, vision that Ezekiel Elliott has. He can't like see the hole before he gets there and make the break. He is going to run you over or he's going to outrun you, but he's not going to outquick you at the hole. And that's something that like a Dalvin Cook would do, who's another good pick out of Florida State. That dude has the best vision of any running back in the draft.
He top 10 pick.
No,
I
he's
think
probably Dalvin Cook.
Okay,
I like him. I would be happy with him at 8, but I think he's a top 20 pick.
I like how you. Well, I'm good because we need your knowledge on this. I'm just throwing out stuff. All right, so you've got Fournette is your number 1 lock. We're not as we need to draft him, but he would be a good fit. Who is another good first round pick in the event? No, Fournette.
Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams out of LSU. I mean, put him beside Kurt Coleman, and we have an elite.
A good tandem.
Yeah, what a tandem that would be.
Yeah, it would be great.
Do you think, as Kevin's asking here, that the Panthers say they have, for some reason, say Fournette is not on their radar, say he's been selected, say they don't like him, whatever.
Okay, all right.
Who's the guy that they target? Is Hooker a guy you target? Or is there another guy also? Is it just as simple as Cam Robinson that you just target him?
Well, I think
it seems like everybody's pushing away from Cam Robinson.
Cam Robinson's slipping. He's slipping a bit. I mean, Ryan Ramczyk out of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
He's
What's
a clean
the cause
player.
of that?
Character and penalties. He's not as disciplined as you would expect him to be. But he's got all the skills, but there's some character off the field concerns. He had some possession of weapons charges. They ended up being dropped and dismissed, but some questionable things. I mean, but in the meetings, in the vetting, talking to Nick Saban, that could change. He could rise up. I mean, you don't find guys like him 6'6", 315 that grow on trees, right? I mean, you can't replicate that size, and his arms are like
grow on trees because they are trees.
Right.
Yes, exactly. And their arms are like grapevines. I mean, you can't. And this is a weak offensive line draft. So an argument many follow, myself included, is when you have a weak position, you better get the top of that position when you can, because the drop off is huge. So somebody like Ryan Ramczyk out of Wisconsin or Cam Robinson, very much in the discussion at pick 8, no doubt about it. But my top three.
Let me ask you. Okay, go ahead.
My top three locks: Fournette, Adams, and I got to go 3 and 3A. 3 would be Ramczyk, who I think has to be in the discussion, and then after that would be Dalvin Cook, because man, you pair him with Jonathan Stewart for a year, you've got an elite backfield that does what I think Dalvin Cook does for the Panthers, what Ezekiel Elliott did for the Cowboys in 2016.
Wow, that's a big deal right there, brother. What you talking about?
I firmly believe that.
Fournette, you're saying?
No, I think
Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin.
Mhm.
Oh wow.
Let me propose something here, if you don't mind. Does Dave Gettleman trade the 8th pick for a later round pick in the 1st and the 3rd?
Well, here's the problem with that, Joe. I on paper, absolutely. The problem is you got to find a willing partner that's going to give you the value, and it could happen, but it's always more difficult than just saying it, right? I mean, but yes, somebody trading back a little bit and picking up an extra 3rd round pick and getting somebody like OJ Howard, the tight end, who is the next Greg Olsen potentially.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Exactly.
Getting somebody like that. There you go. Great minds, freaking Puerto Rican. That's what they say.
Yeah, and remember how well Cam did when he had 2 good tight ends with Greg Olsen and
talk about evolving our offense. Bring in 2 elite. Bring back a Jeremy Shockey type of tight end to go along with Greg Olsen. There you go.
Exactly.
What's his name?
OJ Howard
from Alabama.
So he's the only one that's in the top 20. Is he the only first round now that Jake Butt broke his knee?
Yep.
Or whatever he did.
Yep.
Does that push?
For sure.
I mean that. I can't.
I would say even before Butt got hurt.
All you got to do Panther Nation. All you got to do. Wait a minute. All you got to do to throw the professor off his game is just say the word "but" and give it to
That's
us.
true. That's totally true. Totally true. Here, let me ask you this. All right, so I went on and I was on the radio on Pirate Radio 1250. You can check me out every Friday at 3:00 on my buddy's show, who is Clip Rock, the sports bar, 3 to 5 Monday through Friday for him.
Redskin fan.
Yeah, and he's cool, dude, and he's pretty like just laid back and objective about sports. But anyway, I was telling him about our conversation about, that podcast title we're shopping around for later in the season that we got giggling about that day, that had to do with Jake Butt, Hooker, protection, all these different things. And I was telling him about this conversation, and he brought up this question. So if that section behind the field goal posts where you jump up and where the players jump up and celebrate,
like the Lambeau Leap.
Yeah, you put a bunch of Jake Butt fans there. Does that make it the butthole? So that was like the best one. And then I went in there, and then Tony, of course, has to make things crude, right? Like
you made it worse.
Oh, I made it totally worse. I said this. So when Jake Butt, every time he scores a touchdown, what if we threw salad up in the air like LeBron throws?
Baby powder or talk or whatever. You're tossing salad.
Yes.
You're tossing salad in the butthole.
Yes. Exactly.
Oh, put your children to bed, people.
Oh my God, Tony, that is so bad.
I know, and he had to beep it out, or he beeped it out. He beeped it out because
can we beep this out?
I ain't beeping nothing. He said because my buddy Clip likes, he thinks the beep is funny because it makes your imagination. So it's not even that we beeped it out because it was terrible, but also because it makes it worse when you're saying in the butthole we could, and it's like, boo! You know? All right. That's Kevin Kitchen. This good old Cooter Chronicles. That's, I tell you, that's the game plan. That's where we gotta. You know what? If we want to evolve as a website, if we want to evolve as a podcast, maybe we should switch gears to the Cooter Chronicles.
I don't even want to go there.
There are absolutely zero stories when it comes to the Carolina Panthers. So let's get off this stupid Super Bowl. That please agree with me. Join in my protest that when the game is on, we turn our backs to the television. When the commercials are on, we whip around and we pay attention. We become regular football fans. We become the people that the NFL targets this week in this Super Bowl. They target the casual fan, the person that doesn't care about football, that doesn't really root for anything, that actually thinks the Super Bowl is important when their team's not in it. Let's be that person. So we would turn our backs to the television when the game is on. And then when the commercials are on, we whip around and we celebrate advertisement. Join me in that. But other than that, there's zero Panther stories out there except for Julius Peppers is a free agent. And now I heard this one story. In fact, I don't like the Charlotte Observer. I think it was Scott Fowler that shot this idea out. Like, I think they've suggested that this is more of a logical move for the Panthers than I don't think Dave Gettleman has any care about what Scott Fowler thinks about this. And I think Scott Fowler is just, and I think it's just like, hey, he's just like us, where we've taken a time off from the website, like he has nothing to write about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Julius Peppers coming back to the Carolina Panthers. Is that does that excite you at all?
Zero. Don't even want him.
I want him just because I don't want to say I don't want him because I love Julius Peppers. But I'm not I don't think it would be all that instrumental or helpful to our team.
No. Frankly, I think it'd be a waste of money.
How about this? I'm going to ask Mel, and then we'll turn it to you, Joey. If I had to give you, if you only had two options, Charles Johnson and Julius Peppers, here you go. 1 year deal each. Same exact dollar amount.
Oh, well, Julius Peppers is way more talented. I mean,
still?
Yeah, no doubt.
Better player today, day for day?
Yes.
Down for down?
No question. Now, I'll go with –
You raised up in the ranks of Tony Friendship.
Hey, I meant to say during the opening when you said that, and you said, Joe, you're way up here at the very top. When you come to me, I was getting ready to say, man, I'm just happy to be on the team. Totally.
This is where I celebrate myself on Tuesday nights.
I'll have to go with Abby, who was a part of this discussion earlier in the week on Twitter. Abby's a great follow, by the way. But she mentioned that Julius Peppers, he turned down the largest defensive contract in NFL history to walk away from the Carolina Panthers. So he has been dead to me ever since. I have hated him with a passion. But you can't deny he's a Hall of Famer, and he started here. He should finish his career here. He should come back, he should make things right. He should come back on a $5 million deal and finish his career out here. It would be redemption in mine as well as Abby's eyes. And if he doesn't, he remains dead to us. Speaking for me and Abby.
All right. Joe, who do you take, Charles Johnson or Julius?
I'm taking CJ. I'm taking big money because I've never been a Julius Peppers fan. I had real high hopes for him when we
God,
drafted
you're
him.
really falling
But
in my friendship
he-
ranks right now.
He's
He
fallen. He's fallen
is-
from 1 all the way down to 1A.
I think there are points in his career where he just has not given full effort and has not pushed himself and had the drive to become the very best player he can be. He could have been the second coming of an LT-like player, and I'm not talking about Tomlinson. He could have been a Lawrence Taylor kind of guy, but he was. He
Imagine
never
I don't
pushed
like about
himself.
this, or I don't like this argument that you're putting forward, Joey. Because first of all, my boy, I'm talking about.
I know.
I'm talking about. He's like in the top rank of friends. But here, this whole concept ultimately surrounds this idea that Julius Peppers never really loved football. Like he just went out there and played because he was good enough to play, right? I mean, isn't that what it's saying? Is that he is? You're not saying he had a bad year. Tell me the year he was bad. You're just saying he never was as good as he should have been.
Right. And that to me, that's
Is that hard? Is it commitment, you think?
I think it's part commitment. I think it's, a lack of real dedication. It's a lack of drive and ambition to be the very best at your position that you can be.
See, I don't agree with this. He's been playing since 2002.
Yeah.
He really didn't like football or wasn't committed.
He would have quit 5 years ago.
I know. I mean, you're looking at this, and he had his sacks. The lowest he ever had was in 2007. He had 2.5 sacks. That was a bad year. He goes 12 sacks, 7 sacks, 11 sacks, 10.5, 13, 2.5.
Imagine this.
He just
Imagine
keeps going
this,
and going and going. He has 143 sacks.
He's a Hall of Famer. There's no doubt. So
2 touchdowns.
But imagine this. You put that physical body and his athletic ability, and you put Steve Smith's heart and desire and attitude.
Gee, that's what I'm talking about. That's what it should have been.
You would have the greatest player of all time. You would have the greatest player of all time.
Easily.
That's like saying this. That's fine. You can say that. But you would also have to say this is that, and I will not let you say this on our podcast. Don't you ever say this. I'm going to give you a warning. Okay. That's like saying you wanted to put keep Cam Newton's body and put a different heart and soul into it.
Oh, no.
I don't think so. Cam wants to be the best. Cam has the desire to.
Oh, no more than I think that is unfair.
Well, Cam wants to be in Charlotte. He signed an extension with us. Julius didn't. To me, it's all about personal. I was rejected. It was like the hot girl in high school. Yeah, it's like the hot girl in high school that turned you down for the prom.
Yeah. I mean, I know that's like sad, but the Panthers were really sad when he did.
I heard the reason he left was because it really had to do with the girl. That's why he didn't take the deal. That's what I heard. There was a girl he wanted to get away from.
And you know what? I blame that on the organization. Make that girl disappear.
I don't know about making her disappear, but pay her to move.
There's a bad Ray Caruth joke in there that doesn't even need to be said.
Oh, no.
There is no disappear like the other one that they did.
Terrible.
Call up what's his name? The Kraken. He knows how to make a cross.
Oh, did you see that he applied for permission to join a spring football league? He's trying to make a comeback.
He ain't got no money. He's broke.
Well, that's probably true.
Guaranteed he ain't got $1 to his name. All right. Any last things you want to talk about?
This time of year is tough, man. But what about the draft party? We got to talk about the draft party.
That's way down the road. I mean,
there's a couple things I want to hit
after
on.
this stupid Super Bowl first.
First thing I want to say is George Washington, the defensive line coach. They're talking about
I
him.
thought you were searching for our first president's name.
No,
me
Who's
too,
this
man.
guy?
Yes.
George.
Everybody's
I
going
just
defensive
down.
line
remember his
coach
name.
Deep
has
thoughts
been
with Joe Riolano has returned.
mentioned for defensive coordinator position. I think in DC or San Francisco.
Oh wow, wow.
So there's a potential for us to lose another coach, another position coach. And who are we going to get to fill these roles, man? Have we even been talking to anybody?
That's one thing, man. Rivera saying he's taking his sweet time when it comes to that. So,
And he is.
On what? Say it on who again?
Filling
What
our
are we
coaching positions
vacancies.
that were, our vacancies.
It's weird, isn't it?
Mhm.
It seems to have taken
Is it
so
weird
long.
or does that tell us this? The one thing I'm worried about. So we're all super excited about Steve Wilkes, correct? Becoming
Sure.
I am happy.
like,
Good
yeah, I
pick.
mean, you're happy. It's a feel-good story. And nothing has suggested that it's not a good move, right? We don't have any reason to believe that.
Right.
But since you're not trying to aggressively fill those positions that you lost, A, Ricky Prohl, B, Wilkes' position, does that tell us anything about the value of the actual position of being? I mean, like, we're acting like Ricky Prohl. I don't know. I feel like this, if it's such a vital and critical component, like all of a sudden people wanted to try to dump on Ricky Prohl for not developing Kelvin Benjamin or not making these other guys, like, it was really weird at the end. If it's such a critical position, why don't you aggressively go out and find it?
Right.
Or is that just me looking for smoke?
Well, here's my thing. I think a general manager needs to have the next guy that he wants to go after ready and in his file for when somebody leaves.
Exactly.
So when somebody leaves, why sit there and say, "Oh, well, we're going to take our time and examine our options"? He's got to be examining options all the time.
Right.
Ahead of time.
They should have somebody waiting in the wings.
They should just pull the foul and say, "Here's our number one guy."
Right. I think another thing, I thought, people are wanting Peanut Tillman to come back and coach the DBs, which might not be a bad move. Might not be. I thought, what about Jericho Cotchery coming back as a receiver coach? Don't you think that'd be a pretty good move?
Man,
yeah, I mean, why
he's
not?
smart.
I mean, everybody acts like he was so awesome when he was here.
He's an NC State guy.
Yeah, well, I think he was here recently.
Did you hear the good news about NC State?
Oh, Lord. Coming from an ECU guy, I don't think I want to hear it.
Oh, man, D.H. Conley kid, the Ahlers kid, the quarterback, 4-star recruit, narrowed it down to 2 teams. State, I mean, he's going to go commit. He's a junior, by the way, and he threw something like he's had one of the best seasons in high school football history this past year.
State or where?
4-star
In the state.
Anyway, he picked to stay home with the Pirates.
Oh, I knew you weren't going to give me nothing on this show. You weren't going to give me anything on this show.
All right. So you were mentioning this stuff about, like you said, Rivera. They should be more prepared. What you're saying for this moment, or at least not so stunned by it.
All right.
This is what Kevin Ketchy asked. How do you feel about Rivera right now? He said y'all because that's what I say too. Do you still support him or tired of him? And I don't think that's not a baiting question of like, should we fire? I mean, it's not a radical question, but we're also asking at the same time that we've asked this: can coaches evolve tonight? That's what we asked. One thing. I mean, and I'm of the opinion they really can't. Like, even when they do, it's so little, it shouldn't be called an evolution. But on top of that, you've got these questions looming. You've got Mike Shula, who some people believe is the problem with the Carolina Panthers. Yeah, the devil, Diablo. And then you've got this other thing that Joey is mentioned with the ability to fill these roles. Are any of these on Rivera? Not on him. Like, you got this. Does this make you wary of Rivera at all? Should we even be walking that road?
You know what? This reminds me. Somebody wise once said, "Winning cures all smells." When something stinks, just win, and the stink goes away. You know,
the problem. We're not winning.
Right, and it's a long time before we get a chance to win again. So it's going to be a lot of pessimism between now and September. But start winning in September. Get healthy, have a nice starting left tackle, get a playmaker in the draft, spend some of that $53 million, get a pass rushing specialist, get Luke Kuechly back, make Cam Newton come back all healthy and fresh. Everything's looking good in Carolina again.
Charlie, how you feel about it?
Yeah, I think I don't think this is on Rivera. I think Rivera's fine. He's doing the job I think we asked him to do. Players seem to like him. I would put this more on Dave Gettleman. Gettleman should really have something going. He should communicate with Rivera, and ultimately, Rivera should be able to say, yes, I want this guy, or no, I don't.
Right. It's his staff.
Right, it is his staff. But yeah, I think he's fine. There's no way we should be considering looking for another head coach. At least not yet.
Yeah.
Not looking
No
for
way.
him. Maybe saying that these are not necessarily strengths of his. Here we got is Air Raid 73 Ehlers, by the way, exclamation mark at the end of this.
Yes, that was the kid's name.
Listen to this numbers. 4,500 plus yards, 51 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions.
That's a season right there.
That's a high. By the way, that's like 3 blocks from my house. Like, lights I could probably see. I haven't seen this kid play. I'm actually ashamed that I haven't just gone. I'm going next year. I might go and watch some games. I haven't been to a high school football game since I was in high school.
What?
Really? You just go to?
I have. I went to. I was actually at a game, and who was the old Panthers? He was offensive line coach, and then he became our coordinator right after Chudzinski. Who was it? Davidson.
Jeff Davis.
Jeff Davidson. Yeah. I saw him. His son was playing at Audrey Kell High School, which is where my daughter was going at the time. So I went to a couple games there and actually saw him there hanging out. So that's pretty cool. It was fun.
What position did the son play?
I don't remember, man. I don't remember. I think he was a defensive lineman.
You're joking on me, and you didn't even barely watch the game.
I got to take my shots when I can, man. But I have been. I've been.
Okay.
Like maybe
Joey,
3 times. 3 times.
Football game?
Yeah, I went last season to one here. They have this kid, his last name is Denmark. I think it's Isaiah Denmark. He's going to Virginia Tech on a full ride.
Wow.
I went to see him play. He's talented. Definitely a talented kid.
Okay. All right. We need to wrap this sucker up. Let's get our ice up picks in for the week. And does anybody want to go first? Or you want me to do it? I've got a repeat offender.
I go.
Go ahead, man.
All right. So mine kind of goes back to what you let the cat out of the bag early in the show. But I'm going to ice up the city of Charlotte because the city of Charlotte's going to have to get ready because they've got a native Charlottean moving back there after 7 years. That would be me, baby. A little bit of good fortune has come my way. I'll share with Panther Nation. It's not for the best of reasons. We've got some health issues in the family that we got to move back home and be around family. So some turmoil and things where we could use some prayers for. But got to keep the positive, and the positive is we're going to be back in Charlotte for the first time since 2009 living there. I'm going to be a lot closer to you, a lot closer to my boy down in Charleston. I can't tell you, Charlotte is home for me. I've been gone. I'm so in love with the city of Charlotte. I can't wait to be back. Early March, I'm closing on my house. I just got a house that's right in the heart of Valentine. It's scheduled to close on my birthday in early March. Man, God's got his hands all over it. So, city of Charlotte, get ready. Get ready. Mel Mayock's coming home.
We are so happy you're headed back this way, man. It's going to be really nice to have you close enough to where we really, truly will be able to visit and go to games together.
No doubt, brother.
Yeah, Kevin says congrats. I say congrats until I'm the ice up pick from Mel.
It'll probably happen.
Be coming and staying for them football games. I can't wait.
Hey, man, I got a nice big old fat bedroom upstairs just for the professor.
I've already made so many plans for your house and your family.
Right on.
Joe, my ice up pick is a repeat offender this week. And you know what? I feel like he will be iced up like 800,000 times in the next whatever years we do this. It's going to Joe Person of the Charlotte Observer.
Your boy.
There you go.
Low hanging fruit, Mr. Spiky Hair.
We'll take it.
And
we'll
goes
take
to
it.
this is that ultimately, and I say that word a lot, but when these cats talk down to you slightly, like when you're trying to be nice to them, and I haven't even engaged with this person, but they know, they try to act like, well, this is my profession, which is cool. It is. Mm-hmm. But then you drop this week. This is the headline. So that's fine. If you want to play I'm a professional, I take this really seriously, don't come at me with your little fan takes, Tony getting all crazy on Twitter or whatever he does, right? That's fine. Just stay consistent. Stick with it. But this is the story he puts out this week. Goes something to the tune of, and I'm quoting and paraphrasing, but it's going to be pretty close. Peanut Tillman excited to jump into new role, new job, something like that. And that was it. Now, you're the Charlotte Observer. You're the beat writer for the Panthers, and the headline is Charles Tillman excited to jump into new job. And that's what it was. Now, this crap goes crazy on the internet, which not Joe Person's fault that people don't read anything.
Right.
It's not his fault. But we know what he was trying to do. What was he trying to do? He was trying to say Peanut Tillman, imply that this new job was with the Carolina Panthers as their defensive backs coach, which everybody's shopped around. It's like a super popular idea with Carolina Panther fans. Well, it turns out this new job that Peanut Tillman is so excited to be jumping into is a continued role as a Fox commentator, and he's going to be part of the Super Bowl broadcast. And I mean, I read the story, like it wasn't like it was bad. It was just like, come on,
right?
Man. And the reason I say that, because it's like, I don't feel, but because that's how you are to everybody else. Like, you're like, oh, well, you're just a fan. Like, well, you're just the crap
guy.
Right? And it's just like basic reporter. Like, it's like it's nothing. So anyway, to you, I say, it was to you, Joe Person, Spiky Hair Man. That's fine. You don't like me.
Take it as a compliment. Take it as a compliment.
It doesn't like me. It doesn't right. It's a lot of people don't like me. They may even be in this show, and even be in the top ranks of my friends. Joe, you're up.
My pick this week goes to Mike Davis, owner of the Oakland Raiders. And I'm icing him up just because I think what he's done is kind of shady.
Also a defender for Joey.
Yes. He's been playing the city of Oakland against the city of Las Vegas and trying to get each one to outbid the other for this team. Well, I think his plan has backfired. Goldman Sachs, who originally was going to back him financially, has pulled out of the deal now.
Ooh.
So has Adam. So has
Adam. You just lost Wall Street. You lost Main Street.
Yeah.
They lost Main Street. Now they lost Wall Street.
So now Yes, exactly. Well, now they're not sure how it's going to go with this team moving to Vegas.
That's why I'm moving. Man. That's why I'm moving.
So I'm glad this happened to him because he's been really, this whole deal has been kind of throwing the middle finger up to the fans of Oakland, who are really some serious football fans, guys. They love their team in Oakland. They love that.
The stadium stinks. The stadium stinks. The field
Yeah,
stinks.
but they were
trying
to get a deal worked out, for a new stadium. And I'll admit they definitely need one. But to be playing the cities against each other and like holding each city for hostage, trying to get them to outbid one another, that's just shady business. So
you know what they need more than a better stadium, Joey? Bring me a better team. And they were good this year. But if you take out this year, I want a team if I was a member of a city and you come to me and you're like, we need to upgrade all the facilities and taxpayers are going to be paying for that, I say, bring me a better team first. I'll bring you a better facility when your ass gets me to the playoffs.
Man, we can do a whole show on that topic.
That's like the Browns saying this, is we're upset about being the Browns. You should be thankful that that Cleveland lets you be the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's I think Mike was really trying to do something that was really, I don't want to say wrong, but just not.
And I never trust a guy. I never trust a guy with that type of a haircut. I'm sorry.
God, I think that is so bad. It is so bad.
I'm not making fun. I'm not making fun of anyone's looks because look at me, right? But I mean, you just don't make fun.
Bud. You look great.
Thank you, brother.
What does it look like?
You gotta look him up. It's hard to put it into words.
He's got hard square. He's got hard.
You guys finish.
He's got a hard bangs, so he looks like Chucky the doll with bangs.
Right. He's kind of it's kind of a bowl haircut looking kind of thing.
Yeah. I can't wait. I remember it. I think, hold on, I can't wait to see it.
It's like a combination.
It's like Donald Trump with hair. He is Donald Trump with actual hair.
So
you said you're going to stay away from politics.
Yes, please. So I'm going to ice Mike Davis up for what he's been doing, and kudos to Goldman Sachs, which is hard for me to even say that, for backing out of this deal. I think it was a good move.
That's the funniest thing you've ever said. Gosh, kudos. Wow, that was epic. Sorry, that was a good joke, Joey.
No, but but Davis is playing both ends against the middle, and he's about to get burned.
He is. It's going to cost him big time. I really believe
that his haircut. First, do you think his haircut is kind of like an FU at the world?
Yes. He's like I'm a billionaire. FU. That's what it is.
Right. His dad was a strange character too, right? His dad was an odd man.
Oh yeah, just win, baby.
All right. Well, this has been a fun show. Tonight's show has been interesting. I'm sorry I came in late. I came in literally. I pulled in the driveway.
Okay.
Right at 10 o'clock. The sound was all jacked up. So anyway, C3 Podcast brought to you by Carolina Cat Chronicles.com. You can check us out Tuesday nights, chopping up the latest Panthers news and opinions from the fan perspective. I do it with my homeboys, Joe Riolano. Where can they find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at Joe Riolano.
Mel, coming back home, where can they find you at on Twitter?
Catch me on Twitter at Panthers Drafter. And then every Thursday, got a new mock draft coming out with Draft Tech between now and the draft. So check it out.
Every other Thursday, he drafts Leonard Fournette. No, I'm just kidding. He actually, Mel is great. He's really honest and fantastic on those draft picks. But we would take Leonard Fournette every other
Make
week.
sure you check him out.
Done. You can follow me at cat_chronicles, and we'll see you next Tuesday.